Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Semi-original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic day today. I have a new one here. So this is another viewer submission that was sent to me by the player AWBW. Now once again, just so y'all know, I've opened up the floor to viewer submissions, right? So it's gonna be pretty cool. So if you have a replay that you want to have reviewed or featured on the channel, please send me a message on Advanced Wars by Web. Mr. Cannon is my name. Send me the message, send me the replay link. I'll take a look at it. If it looks good, I'll do a submission and it'll be super fun, right? Alright, so today we're playing on this map right here. Pretty cool stuff. This is a high funds mixed base map. So the bases are all over the map. You can build from all over the place. There's going to be lots and lots of engagements happening all around the map. Now I'll put up the player profiles here. Also we have AWBW and Jiven today, playing as Hawke and Eagle respectively. Hawke will get plus 10% firepower day to day. He will also be able to cause a black wave and a black storm. Two of my favorite co-powers in the entire game. They cause global damage and healing. And me, I'm a big fan of healing. You know, when you go and do some reckless mistakes, get that healing done, neutralizes it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, folks. And Jiven, playing the Eagle player, Eagle's air units will get plus 15% attack and defense as well. I think it's 10% defense. Yeah, 10% defense for Eagle's air units. Lightning Drive will increase his firepower and defense of those air units, and Lightning Strike will allow his vehicle units, air units, and navy units to move a second time in that turn. Very powerful stuff, very powerful stuff. I think they're both incredibly viable picks for high funds. AWBW sent me the replay and wanted me to kind of go over why he thinks Hawke is a better choice for this map in particular. Now, looking at the map and looking at COs, I'm not really necessarily sure that Hawke is technically a better pick. However, he is a very good pick. He's more safe than Eagle, I would say. Now, the global damage is going to be incredibly effective on this map because it's going to affect every single front and give you healing as well. Lightning Strike, however, will allow you to attack twice, which can also be insanely effective, folks. That's going to be very, very good for sort of hit and run tactics or just completely plowing through the enemies. So I think what this match is really going to come down to, since they were both very big co-powers, they're going to take a very long time to charge. So it's really probably going to come down to the engagements leading up to that point for who is actually going to come up on top, right? So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll take a look at what happens here. So the first thing that happens, obviously, is your standard infantry builds. Gotta get those infantry on the field, folks. Super important. We gotta get them out. Now, the interesting thing here is both players have actually bought an APC on day 4. Now, I've never actually seen an APC built on this map before, especially like this early, right? So maybe there's something to do, maybe there's something about this APC that I don't really know about yet. The most important thing that I can see happening from it would be boosting some of the infantries either over here to cap these properties, or these ones down here, or maybe rushing over really quickly to cap your port, which would allow you to build like an early black boat and get those 2 neutral properties on the island, and maybe even get the comm tower in the corner. Now, most people tend to build like a transport copter to go get the comm tower, and then a black boat to get the cities. From my experience, at least. So, we'll see what happens with that. Now, fun fact is they used to actually allow can buy on this map for high funds. And arguably, I would say he was the most powerful pick, and it was insanely difficult to go up against him. Is it impossible? No. But he was very good. Fortunately, I don't think hand buy is allowed for this map anymore, so thank you, Nell. Thank you, Nell, for calling that one. Whew! Bad stuff, folks. Bad stuff. Alright, so both players have built a tank out of their mid factory, so that's very good. You can't go wrong with the tank. Incredibly safe build. Let's see what the differences here is now. So the Jiven, the Eagle player, moved his APC here, so he's going to be able to boost that infantry right there. So that's very cool. Now, AWBW, it looks like he's planning on boosting this infantry right here. So whether he goes for the mid with it or going over here, we're going to see what happens with that. I'm not quite sure what his plan is here. So let's see. Alright, so Jiven built another tank in the south. Starting to finish this cap over here. Finish this cap on the city in the base. Move this tank over in the mid. So that is a interesting position. Interesting position. Not sure if I would have went mid with that tank personally. The main issue is this tank over here is not in position to really effectively affect the map, essentially. What it is going to do is it's going to put pressure over here on the capture phase for these cities. However, I think the job of these two bases is to really just put a lot of pressure over here on the one base side and do its best to sort of overrun that section. By moving your tank over here, it's going to allow the Hawke player, AWBW, I think, to capture this city uncontested. Whereas this city is being captured right now, and it could be easily interrupted by this tank because there's no counter to that right now. So I think that's probably what happens. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so we're capping the comm tower. We move over to get a little bit closer to this city to cap that. The APC actually boosted the infantry over here and got a secondary boost from the base. So that's pretty cool. So that's very cool. Actually, not a bad play with that. It makes it so these two infantry are very, very close to capping. Well, one of them will be able to cap that city right away. The other one will just be a little bit closer over here, right? So that's pretty cool. But the most important thing is the interrupt with this right here. So that makes it so the Eagle player isn't going to be able to cap that city. Not easily, at least. And AWBW doubles down with two tank builds right here. So yeah, those tank builds are going to be very, very good because one of the tanks is actually in position to go over here and threaten this tank. And the other one is going to be able to reinforce this tank. Okay, cool. So we're going to cap the airport. We are going to continue the cap on the city, build another tank in the south. Going up to capture the comm tower, moving this infantry over here to cap this. Now I think the most important thing is we just need to see what's going to happen with this tank, and we're just going to move it over into the forest. Okay, so it's in position to better guard this area, I suppose, or zone it out. It looks like it is in position to actually attack this guy. However, we're not going to be able to interrupt that cap, so I think this tank really, it really just needs to come back over here and start threatening this area. Because if anything, if this tank was positioned over here, that would stop AWBW's sort of expansion over in the west-hand side with these tanks, or these infantry. Little black hole soldiers, folks. Well, I think that's probably what should have happened. This tank is just really ineffective at this moment. So yeah, alright, so let's see what's gonna happen from here. So we're gonna finish the cap on the city. This is a very, very important city to actually get to, because your main line of defense, if you get pushed back, is gonna be this little choke point right here. It's very, very good to get this city, because if you need to park a unit on there, it's gonna be a very good defensive area to hold. Now, I know that I've had matches before where I've been pushed back really, really far, and I've even gone to the extent of building a mega tank and then parking that mega tank right there on that city. And at that point, the city is not going to be taken. The only way you're going to get that off of there is either with another mega tank or a couple bombers, right? But by that time, you can also reinforce it with anti-air. but I'm speaking way in the future here. So let's just continue on. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. So we cap this city, and we actually use the APC to boost an additional infantry over here, primed and ready to cap these properties. Nice. It's not bad. I think that's a pretty good play, actually. So we are seeing some pretty decent use of the APC right now. And Addy has decided to stop attacking this infantry because the damage is done. He's not going to be able to get that property for a little while. He's actually moved his 2 tanks over here too. So this is actually not bad because it's going to kind of stop the advancement over here with this infantry. We're not going to be able to stop the airport from being capped, obviously. But yeah, good stuff. So we're building 1 tank over here finally. So I think ADP is actually just really lucky that the Eagle player hasn't advanced over here with these 2 units yet. Because if he did, that would have forced him to build units out of here earlier. Because as it stands right now, he doesn't really necessarily need units right there too much because he's got no threat. So that's allowed ADP to go really heavy on the south side. Alright. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's lost or anything yet, but ADP definitely has the stronger opening, I would say. And capping this city right here, I'm not sure that's necessarily the play to go right now. This guy's definitely a sitting duck to these tanks at the moment. So all that's really going to happen with that, unless we do something about this, that infantry is basically just a sitting duck and it's not really going to go anywhere. Uh-oh. 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 What's going on here, folks? Alright, so the tank is moved over here. And it's actually in range of this tank here to get first struck. Now, that's a situation you don't really want to be in there, folks. Especially on your weak side. You don't really want to get first struck on your weak side. If it was the intention to build or bring the tank down here, I might have actually brought the APC down here to maybe block that off, or maybe even bring the APC right here. Probably would have been a little bit better because this tank is a sitting duck at the moment. Now, it's possible that maybe the Eagle player's intention here is to give Hawke a choice of either interrupting the cap or attacking the tank. However, both of those options are not good for you. So I would definitely not sacrifice a tank just to get a cap, I don't think. Because if I were a betting man, I would probably say that this tank is going to get hit by this one. Not sure though. So not bad shot on the infantry. So this tank is finally seeing a little bit of action here. However, it's a little bit too late considering the airport is already capped. The dangerous thing about this situation is if ADP, the Hawke player, decides to build a battlecopter out of this base right here, that is going to be able to follow this tank wherever it goes and get a first strike on it, causing massive damage, right? So that would mean potentially he might be down even more units. So considering what happened here, so we have 22,000 funds, so it is actually entirely possible we could see a battlecopter out of here, and I think that probably would be the right play at this moment, because we are heavily outnumbering the tanks down in the south by 1, and we have no threats up here so far. So building a battlecopter up here would actually eliminate this tank like completely out of the game. Alright, so we're gonna cap a couple cities, get an extra boost from the APC. Very nice. Okay, yeah. See, this is what I was thinking was gonna happen. We ended up actually taking the shot and injuring the tank. So that is dangerous stuff. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Semi, couldn't the Eagle player just build a battlecopter out of his property too and threaten these tanks? Well, yes, that's entirely possible. However, this tank is actually 1 square away from this airport right now, so this tank would be able to get away scot-free. Perfectly fine. The injured tank, however, is a sitting duck and is susceptible to either being attacked by this or having to deal with a battlecopter when it comes out. The tank might be able to run away this way if this tank decides to retreat. However, I would probably say that this tank would go and hit this one. So this tank would be eliminated, I believe. So let's see what happens. So we don't build the battlecopter like I was thinking. So I think that might be a mistake. Might not be a mistake, right? Depends on what your overall goal is, because we can definitely build these 2 tanks down here. So that would be 14,000 funds. And what did we have? I think it was 22. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to build a battlecopter if we decided to build 2 tanks here. But I think building 1 tank here, building a battlecopter here, and then building, you know, your standard infantry builds out of these 2, I think that probably would have been a little bit better. Now, when it comes to Eagle, he's got 24,000 funds. And, I mean, we are getting very outnumbered when it comes to tanks here. So, I think at this point, Eagle in the south, he's either got to go big or go home or get a battlecopter and a tank on the field. And then start to reinforce this side with a few things. Because we definitely need to do that. This tank needs to pull back as soon as possible, though. So, let's see. Alright, so we're still boosting with the APC to get over here. So this isn't too bad. So now this infantry is actually safe from the tanks, ready to cap these properties. These 2 tanks are actually in position to assist with those guys. So that's okay. However, I'm very confident that it's these 2 bases' job to severely attack this side here. Because you don't really want these guys to roam around. I think it's these 2 bases' job to really lock this area in so that these guys can't expand. And once you have it locked in, slowly expand into the center and sort of threaten that area. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, so this is cool. So Addy decides to build that battlecopter Jiven, sorry. Jiven decides to build the battlecopter down here. So that's going to severely threaten this tank right here. And threaten this tank right here, making it so they have to retreat. However, one of these tanks will be able to come in and take a shot at this one. So I think probably the play right now would be to take this tank, move it onto the city, take this tank over here and take that shot. Move this tank over here on this city. And then maybe go from there. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that might not be... Maybe that's not the play, because it's pretty dangerous. Like, you could put it on the lab, but it's not going to get healing if it gets shot, but it would only be able to get shot once, and not from a very good position either. So, tough call. Let's see what happens, though. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. So we take the shot. Battlecopter is going to be able to defend against this guy, force him to retreat. This tank is going to be retreating into the range of this tank as well. However, if this tank went up and attacked it, it's not really necessarily a good move. But we do have a little bit of a tank presence down here in the south now for Jiven, so it's not completely over. I mean, it's never over, really, right? If you guys remember back to my Grizzled War Vets Fight Forever, or whatever I named it, fight until the very end. You know, sometimes matches can last almost 50 days, and you can pull off a win from utter sheer defeat, right? So just because we lost a couple tanks early doesn't necessarily mean that we're done the game. Especially with Eagle, because he's able, like I said, with Lightning Strike, you're able to attack twice. So even though you have a lower tank count, I mean, when you pop Lightning Strike, that tank count is doubled, essentially. Well, maybe like 1.6 or like 1.7, because in order to attack, you are going to take counter damage. But you're still going to be able to attack twice, so overall, it's a lot better. So add a P, bring these units back. So not attacking into a losing situation, so that's good. This tank, that's pretty much as far as it could go, so that's not... You're not really losing anything with that. Unfortunately, this tank is pretty much done. But if Jiven's going to go up and attack this tank, that means that he's going to lose a tank in response too. At the moment, Jiven doesn't really have enough units to really respond to finishing off that tank. And it's only a 1 HP tank, so it's not really going to be doing too much. However, with Hawke's looming threat of danger when it comes to the Black Storm, injured units are going to be healed up over time with the Black Storms for sure. So if you sit a unit on a city, then pop your Black Storm, and then all of a sudden that turn you just gained 4 HP. So over time it can be very effective. Okay, so Jiven is attempting to go mid and cap these two properties. Now, however, I don't think that's a very good idea at this moment. We have too much threat over here and too much threat in the mid. The only thing that I can see happening with that is pretty much the Hawke player pushing everything mid. And with his 110% fire or 120% firepower with the comm tower at this moment, it makes his ground units and his infantry incredibly effective. Now that's one of the other reasons why Hawke is actually a really, really good pick for high funds. Especially high funds with comm towers, because he's just going to get that much more firepower. If we actually cap both of those comm towers that we're supposed to cap, all of a sudden, like, Hawke has 130 over 100 every single day. That's just his base day-to-day damage. And that is incredibly effective. And then that paired up with the Black Storm, not really too much can be done about that. The only CO, I think, in Tier 1 that can really go up against that. I don't even know. That's a tough call. I mean, Eagle can, but like I said, it really just depends on the engagements leading up to the point. If Eagle manages to do a lot of good engagements and has a unit advantage, by the time Lightning Strike happens, like, he's most likely going to win. But if Hawke has either equal or more when it comes time for the Black Wave, he's probably going to win. I think it's sort of just like a slow decline to the end at that point. So we're taking out the unit over here, and we take out the unit up here, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen. Now, let's just go back real quick. So this tank going up and taking the shot on this tank, not a very good idea. I'll tell you why it's not a good idea. Because we're just throwing away a unit. So we are losing a full 7,000 fund unit to do 40% damage to a tank. Because this tank is in position to attack this one, and that is a, as the community says, a 0-hit KO. Because you take no hits from it, it's just a knockout. Right? And that just puts your tank count 1 lower. So Eagle's job in matches is to stall the battle as long as possible without losing units. The longer you can stall and the longer you build up your units, the more devastating your Lightning Strike is going to be. So that is your real job. But Hawke's real job also is to stall. But since Hawke has a lot of firepower, he is actually able to go on the offensive quite well. Like we're seeing here, Hawke going on the mad offensive with a lot of attacks. So I think that was a fairly good move to do on the Hawke player's part at this point. We did do lots and lots of damage. Now we're sitting at 32,000 funds. And we do a couple more standard builds. Now it's day 10 in high funds. I think at this point, the next turn, like, we have to tech up at this point. This is not the little tank show anymore. This is going to have to be the big unit show. We're talking about, like, bombers. We're talking about getting some neo tanks on the field. We're talking about getting that one-shot potential. So I think that's really what we need. Now, this is a good build with the transport copter. So this is good. So transport copter is going to be able to funnel one of these infantry over here to cap this comm tower. So that's very good. Okay. Now, the way the map looks, I can see Eagle doing a fairly large counterattack to this push. But I don't see it being super, super good. Now, the issue is Eagle has no counter to the battlecopter up here. And I don't think he's in range to take out the anti-air. Now, I think these 3 tanks are probably going to get hit pretty bad. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this one can't reach this. However, this tank could probably take out this one very easily. This tank could come up and take a shot at this one. Most likely this forest would be the best choice. This tank could even come down, take a shot at this one. Now, however, that would leave the battlecopter open. So we need to get the anti-air up here too. I think the anti-air would probably have to sit in this city. Would be the best, or not city, this forest. I think that would be the best spot for it. Could be wrong though. I mean, I am only somewhere around the 1050 to maybe 1100 rating. I have got above 1100 a few times, not really too much higher, but I've gotten there, so you know. And I think ADP is actually somewhere in the 1100s, and Jiven might be like somewhere in the thousands. So I would safely say that they probably both think similar to me when it comes to battles. Or maybe I just have like an 800 brain. Who knows? Maybe I just get lucky. Now we're gonna move him right here. So that is gonna... That is gonna threaten this battlecopter for sure. Okay. Move the other battlecopter down here because we don't want to get hit by the anti-air. Oh, I mean, it's not bad. Hey! Jiben! Getting the Neo tank on the field. See? I knew it. I knew in my heart it was going to show up. Love Neo tanks. Got to get them out in high funds, folks. So an Eagle Neo tank is actually going to be like super, super powerful. Because when that lightning strike hits, if that Neo tank is uncontested, that's going to be able to one-shot at least 2 tanks. Unless they're on cities, but like it's still going to cause massive damage. Okay, let's see what the Hawke player ends up doing. So we hit the tank right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this tank is in range to get hit by this one. I think it was still important that we take that out. Oh, cool. Hey, that's what I like to see. So the other question is when you're playing as Hawke in high funds, right? And especially when you're playing against Eagle. Sometimes if you feel like Eagle is going to be able to get his lightning strike and you're not going to be able to get your black storm in time, sometimes it might be a good idea to pop that black wave and do that global damage to Eagle and get a little bit of healing before, you know, all hell breaks loose. So that's not too bad. Now, one thing I kind of do like to do sometimes when I'm playing as Hawke is if I get to the situation where, like, you know, I'm kind of worried about it and I think it's probably like gonna be a black wave day. Sometimes I'll try to actually do a bunch of my tank engagements and stuff first, and then pop the black wave afterwards, because then you heal up some of the counter damage you take, and then Eagle just ends up taking an additional 1 damage. And you'll actually get a little bit extra power charge off of that. So, yeah. Because if you're planning on doing a whole bunch of damage this turn anyways, Eagle is definitely going to get his lightning strike. Because let's see here. So we have an incredibly ballsy move right here with the anti-air going down and taking a shot. So that's pretty, wow. That's some stuff. Now, mind you, remember, this is 120% firepower right here. And we have the defense bonus from the Black Wave. So, not necessarily a bad engagement, actually. We did lots of damage. Now, this tank had to move here and take the shot in order for this tank to come in and finish it off. However, with the lightning strike, these two tanks would definitely disappear from this guy. So we got to keep that in mind. The other battlecopter comes down. Finish this off a tank. Okay. So this tank actually wasn't in position to hit this guy, so that's okay. So we hit the most valuable target that we can get. So we injure it, so that's okay. We'll finish it off though. Now, moving this APC right here doesn't actually really affect anything. This Neo tank will still be able to park itself on that city and take that shot. So this is kind of sort of just giving away your APC. If you can't like make an effective wall, sometimes it's just better just to keep some units alive that you can. If anything, I think probably bringing this APC right here might be an idea. Because if the Neo tank goes here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, crud. It would still be able to reach it anyways, so. Just ignore anything I said there. Okay, let's keep going. So, build the black boat, and now we're capping the side property, so that's good. Now, the only problem with Jiven here is this infantry actually ended up taking a damage from the Black Wave. So we're going to have to heal that up with the black boat before we cap. Okay? We got to make sure we do that. This is definitely a lightning strike turn, though. I can see it. No, Jiven! No! Ah, come on, man. That's too bad. Alright, so yeah, if we see a point where we're about to cap with an infantry and we have a black boat right beside it, remember that you can repair your units with that black boat. Okay? Because we could have definitely got that property one turn sooner. And, you know, everything would have been peachy. Plus, with the lightning strike, you're just going to be able to move this black boat back down here anyways, so, you know, be good. So, okay, so we're going to take the shot and then we're going to join two infantry. I think I'd probably just rather use those infantry as blockers than anything. 7 HP infantry isn't really going to be super effective when it comes to capping things, so. So finish off the 1 HP tank. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea. You know what I would probably do? And this is going to sound crazy, right? But I would probably just sacrifice these two tanks to do a bunch of damage to this anti-air unit, so that it's not really a threat to the battlecopters. Maybe. Or at least less of a threat. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But let's keep going. Well, unfortunately, the battlecopter is just slightly out of range. So we have a bomber build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You know what I think would have been really good is building the bomber out of this one. Because when the lightning strike hits, we can actually move the bomber down here and take out this anti-air from the shoal. And then this anti-air wouldn't be able to hit it. And then the bomber would have free reign over here afterwards. Building the bomber from this section, the only thing it's going to be able to do is either hit this tank or hit this infantry and stop the cap. So, not too bad. However, I don't think it's super great building it from there. Yeah, and so if the intention is actually to attack this tank right here, attacking with your infantry is not needed. We don't really need to do that. That's pretty much just guarantee your infantry is going to die like next turn. Okay, so we got lightning strike. Black belt doesn't really need to be healed either, I don't think. That's kind of just going to be sapping your funds. We could probably just leave it like on this property right here. So Neotank has managed to do some work here. Like I said, that is the one-shot machine. We got 2 one-shots happening. So that's very effective, very good. Okay, so yeah, the bomber just went up and attacked this guy anyway, so that infantry definitely didn't need to attack, so... just keep that in mind for the future. But that bomber build down here would have been way better, because like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that guy would have just been taken off of the map. No anti-air would have existed, so that would have probably been a lot better, I think. Yeah, so if we're going to play Eagle, we really have to think about how or where the most effective location is to build our units during Lightning Strike. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. And remember Eagle's Lightning Strike, you're actually able to build your units and move them that turn, as we just saw, right? So you have to either think to yourself, is it worth it to buy like one really big unit and move it the next turn and cause lots of damage? Or do we build a bunch of small units, get them out on the field really quickly, and then buy infantry afterwards? Because that's a very viable strategy too. So if we did something like that, Jivin could have actually been ahead at this point by like 3 more units, possibly. Like bare minimum 3 units. So that would have been very good for his unit count. Especially over here where there's not really many infantry contesting. Like sending like 2 infantry over here would force the Hawk player to have to bring some stuff down here to defend. So yeah, that's a thing. Oh, the anti-air got hit here, which is not very... Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. It did do a lot of damage, though, so it's not, like, super bad, but, yeah. Unfortunate, that's for sure. Oh, cool, we got a fighter. So, the Hawk player has decided to build a fighter, and we have the Neotank build from a few days ago there. Or a day ago. So this is cool. So the fighter is going to be able to counter the bomber. We have built extra anti-air units in the south because the only real threat down here is air units, so the battlecopter and the bomber. So these guys are definitely worth it. And we have an artillery now too. Ooh, cool. So artillery are cool on this map. You can either use it to sort of defend yourself down here with a wall, or you can even bring it over here and make sure the city is uncontested. 2 good strategies with that. Your artillery could also sit here and block up this area here, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so day 12. Day 12. Oh, the Eagle player still hasn't capped the city either, which is super unfortunate. Okay, so we bring the bomber up and we take a shot here. So let's see. So this bomber's taken 3 shots, so that's 7,000 plus like half a tank. Yeah, so that's like roughly about 10,000 worth of value, right? So not too bad right now. Need to get a couple more hits out there with that guy in order to get some true value. So see, okay, so we went up and healed the infantry. So we knew that it could heal. So we should have definitely did that last turn. That would have been a cap in the Eagle player's favor, and that would have only made it a difference of like one property. Okay, so we're walling off the battlecopter, so that's pretty good. I think how do we get this battlecopter out of here though? Like we would have to bring it down and go all the way over here, which would take it out of commission for a couple turns. I think if anything, maybe send the battlecopter over here to maybe guard this guy at this point, because with the amount of anti-air there, it's not really gonna be too effective, if you know what I mean. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so this move right here was not needed. Definitely not needed. Because this guy, he can't reach the bomber anyways, so essentially you're just putting a battlecopter in range to die with no true counter here. What you would really have to do is you got to build an anti-air from here in order to defend that area, because this anti-air doesn't have enough hit points at the moment to do. What is this? Uh-oh, folks. I don't know what's going on with this one. So the anti-air moves back onto a base to get healing. So he base blocks himself to heal an anti-air. I don't know. Don't base block yourself, folks. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. That's a first. Cool. But yeah, let's move. No. Oh, that's just not gonna be really good, because we really needed to build an anti-air out of the base right there to defend against this guy, because now this fighter is just gonna come in. Even if it's like a 5 HP anti-air, like, I'd still go in and take that shot. I'd just be like, whatever, just I'm still gonna take the shot. You know, it's Hawke, so you're just gonna heal yourself up later. Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, we just took the shot anyways. It's like, whatever. Maybe this was a mistake. So that's entirely possible. Sometimes you're looking at the map and it's just like, well, there's stuff everywhere. I just saw a green tile, so I moved it on there, and then it was an accident. I didn't see that it was a base. That's entirely possible. So if that's the case, like, yeah, all right, I get you. Whatever, it's okay. But in general, like, I think that that might be a game-ending play right there. Not getting yourself a unit out when you really, really need one. Yeah, that's... Ooh. Yeah. I think that might be GG, actually. Because, alright, so the bomber is going to be able to counter that guy. This guy is going to be able to counter this guy. This will be able to attack the fighter. Whew. Okay, let's see. Join Captain with 6 left. Okay. If this guy did decide to attack this one, that's still gonna bring it down more, but that would... I don't know. Okay. That's possible. I mean, if you really, really want the cap, then yeah, join Captain is the way to go there, but I don't... Actually, at this point, it probably would be good for AWBW just to let him have the city. And then bring this tank up to actually take a shot at the anti-air. Because we killed the anti-air and then the fighter is free to go again. And the fighter only took 3 damage. So as soon as another black wave or a black storm pops up, we're going to be completely safe there. Take a not super good engagement right there. So that's a little tough. But that does block off the tank from attacking the anti-air. But the fighter just has so much mobility that it can pretty much go wherever it wants. So. Okay. So AWBW is actually the Hawke player. He's getting really, really close to having his lightning strike. Oh, and this actually wasn't as blocked off as I thought. This guy was just able to go over there. So that's not too bad. Did I say lightning strike? Sorry, folks. I meant black wave again. Sorry, there's too many birds of prey. Too many birds of prey, folks. I can't keep track of them all. Oh, boy. So I wonder if the question is, like, is he going to pop his black wave again, or is he going to save up for black storm? Because at this point, he definitely would get his black storm before Eagle got his lightning strike. So we'll see. Alright, so bomber's moving in. So yeah, we needed to build more anti-air to defend against that bomber for sure. Oh no. So when this bomber moved down here to attack what I think was a tank, it put itself in range of this anti-air too. So I don't know if he actually saw that move or not. But that is not very good. You don't want to put your bombers in range of anti-air. Bombers have an extra movement space on, like, more than an anti-air. They move 7 spaces, anti-airs move 6 spaces, and that's for a reason. It's because bombers are supposed to be a counter to anti-air. Just like how a fighter is supposed to be a counter to a bomber. So that's unfortunate. I don't think that was a super good engagement. And considering that we just lost that bomber now, it's just looking even... What the f... This map is wild. This is wild. We got a cruiser? Or a carrier? What? Holy macaroni. So, 1, 2... for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So carrier shoots 6. This is some stuff, folks. So the carrier can move down and actually lock out this airport, so that's kind of cool. But I've never seen a carrier built here. This is like some new stuff. All right, let's see. Like a battleship I can maybe see, because a battleship would be able to lock out both of these bases, like I think. So if we parked it here, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we wouldn't be able to lock out both of them. Or would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we could. So if we actually build a battleship, parked it right here, we could lock both of these bases. That'd be super fun. Would leave it open to this. So maybe the plan is to build a carrier and a battleship, and then like just lock it hard right there. Oh, I don't know. That's exciting. So Jiven builds a fighter. Cool. Okay, so we're getting counters to the air units now, so that's good. Black wave. Oh, we got a black wave here. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that does some gnarly damage. So we do the black wave to guarantee the kill on the Neo tank, I think is what it was. So that's pretty good. So we park an infantry on enemy city. Beginning cap on a city, moving a couple units into position, wall that guy off. No real counter to the Neo tank anymore. We build a cruiser and a carrier, so we're gonna defend against the battle copters, and we're gonna have range. Okay, so what's Eagle gonna do here? Park City, gonna try to cap the comm tower. We take a shot and then we heal ourselves. Okay, so that's good. Build a bomber, we got another fighter. Okay, so we are walling ourselves off down here. We try to do a little bit of damage to the bomber with an injured anti-air, but it didn't work out. Okay. So we're just slow approaching with the cruiser right now too. Get another infantry here. So this cap, that's not going to work anymore. Okay, so we are going heavy with the wall up here. That looks like it's got a one-way trip ticket to full send city, folks. I can only see this guy going up pretty soon. Yeah, no, that's the resign. So we didn't even have to go to full send city for this one, folks. That was the end. So yeah, that was an interesting match. Couple really odd builds that I don't necessarily see very often, especially with that carrier. Like, what? That's cool. That's cool. Unfortunately, the carrier didn't get to see any action. But yeah, on this map in particular for high funds, like Hawke, if he captures the comm towers, right? Hawke is going to have 130% firepower on all his units, and that is going to be insanely effective. It's going to make your 2 shots like almost guaranteed all the time. Even on cities, you're going to be guaranteed, right? As long as it's some kind of an even engagement, it's going to happen. And then with the global damage, you're just going to be able to slowly whittle your opponents down. So overall, I think Hawke is definitely the best pick for this map. However, Eagle is insanely powerful too in the fact that he's able to attack twice, right? So I think what it really came down to with this map is just a couple misplays on the Eagle player's part. Not pushing up into Hawke's territory too quick, letting him expand over here, and just generally just kind of losing a couple units like really early. When it comes to playing as Eagle, you want to keep your units alive as long as possible until it's time for that lightning strike, and then you just pummel your opponent with that, right? So can be very, very good. The other thing when you're playing as Eagle is you want to really think out your builds on your lightning strike turn. Look at where your opponent is, look at your bases, try to figure out if your units can actually reach enemy units and do some damage during that turn. Remember, your tanks have 6 movement, right? Same with your battlecopters, so factor that in. Factor the fact that your bombers can move 7 spaces in a turn. Like, let's say for example, if the bomber was built down here, like mid-game, when the lightning strike happened, it would have been able to cause massive damage over here, and then possibly even attack like the anti-air that was built over here. It would have, obviously the Hawke player probably would have built more anti-air after that, but your bomber would be in a very good position at that point, because then it would be able to reinforce any side that he pretty much chooses. And yeah, just keep in mind that enemy units, most of the ground units, they always move 6, right? So just try to keep your air units out of range of your enemy anti-air. Just be safe, folks, be safe. But that's the end of this one. Thank you very much, AWBW, for sending me that one. It was a very entertaining match for sure. Congratulations on the win, and Jiven, congratulations also. You put up a solid fight for sure, and maybe just think about a couple of those things that we went over in the match, and I think it'll really improve your Eagle play for sure. And that's gonna be it. So this has been Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web. If you have replays that you want me to review, please send it to me on Advanced Wars by Web. My name is Mr. Cannon. Just send me a message with the link, little description about the match, and I'll be more than happy to possibly do a review on it. Aside from that, link in the description below where you can join Advanced Wars by Web and the Discord if you want to chat and play with people around the world. Now, Advanced Wars by Web, they do have a league system that you can join, or you can play casual. Doesn't matter. Just join up and play because it's super fun, right? Alrighty. Semi-Original Guy out, folks. Have a great one.